Hello and welcome to episode 80 of the Stress Knits podcast. I'm Stacy, also known as Stress Knits on Instagram. I never know if it's Stress Knits or Stress Knits Yarns. I should know these things, or at least I should write them down and pretend like I do. But Esther, don't eat her snacks. Yes, I'm coming to you from Metro Detroit, Michigan. I have my daughter Eliza and my pug puppy Esther here with me. So I'll be glancing over here every now and then to make sure Eliza's doing great. She's sitting in her little high chair, her high chair seat on the floor, eating some snacks. So just watching. Yeah, she woke up from her nap while I was getting ready to podcast, and she's in a really good mood, so I thought I would just go for it since I don't really have a lot to talk to you about. First things first, I am wearing my Find Your Fade shawl. I knit this about 2 years ago. Around this time, actually, I finished it. Esther, don't eat her snacks, baby. Yes, so this is my Find Your Fade shawl by Andrea Mowry. It's just a quick recap. I've recently fallen back in love with this shawl, and I kind of want to knit another one, so we'll see. I have the ends knotted up, but it starts with Buffy from Wool and Boone, Willow Sweater from Druzy Rising, Jilted Rose from Wool and Vine, which is my all-time favorite colorway, and I am in desperate want of a sweater quantity because I think it would look really great. My hand-dyed yarn, Stress Knits yarn in the Rattle colorway, Life in the Long Grass in Rose Hip, Hedgehog Fibers in Pistachio, and Wool and Vine yarns again in Succulents. I did make one mistake when I did this, and I didn't fully understand the construction. Esther, don't eat her snacks, baby. I didn't know that you're supposed to decrease all the way until there weren't any stitches on the side of the decrease left, so I have like a little nipple on the end, and that's okay. I don't mind it. So I definitely think I want to make another one. I have some colorways of mine that I really want to make, and so I might start knitting this for a sample for the shop. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, so there's that. So let's see. There's not really much to talk about. It is March 21st, 2019, and yeah, it's kind of gross. It's about 40 something degrees in Michigan. Esther, babe. Yeah, it just is what it is. It's spring in Michigan. It's gross. Hopefully we're gonna go to the zoo on Sunday. My parents got all of us, me and my 2 older sisters, because all of us had kids last year. They got us a year membership to the zoo, so hopefully it'll be nice enough for us to go walk around finally and enjoy outdoors, because we really haven't gotten to do that yet. So I'm really excited about that. But like I said at the beginning, I really don't have a lot to show you. I've been very monogamous. I have only been knitting on my birds of a feather. So I cast this on in September, and yeah, it was really quick at first, and then the rows aren't that long. It's just a lot of back and forth, and just the same thing over and over again for a very large shawl. This dog is just trying to eat everything that's falling into her lap. They love each other, but it's annoying right now. Not really. Yeah. So we're just gonna see how this goes. But I'm almost done. I thought I was gonna have this done, but I've also just not really had knitting mojo. Not for any particular reason. It's just one of those things. I think it's the in-between weather. I don't really like it. I like it to be really, really cold. I don't like hot weather, and then I like 60s. Essentially, like, I'm very picky about weather. I just dumped coffee on my shawl. It has to be washed and blocked anyway, right? Well, I'm gonna pretend like I'm not slowly freaking out in my brain right now. Okay, it's one of those days, guys. So, here is my birds of a feather shawl. Esther, stop eating her snacks. Sorry that the Esther chat is probably getting annoying, but she can't eat her snacks. So here's my birds of a feather. Like I said, it went super fast for the first few sections until I got to about here, and then I just didn't want to knit it anymore. But I've buckled down. I've made really good progress. Since the last time I showed it to you, I've done this much, which is really good. So all I have left is this section of garter, a section of mohair, and the border. So I'm almost done. See, this side is getting, it's the same construction as the Find Your Fade. Yeah, so Esther. Okay, so same construction as Find Your Fade. You do the center decrease, the double decrease, which is great. Yeah, I have no complaints about the shawl except for it's taking forever, and that is no fault to Andrea Mowry. By the way, this is Birds of a Feather by Andrea Mowry. I don't know if I said that. This is my September cast on for my Year of Andrea, which is a self-knit along where I cast on a project of Andrea Mowry's once a month. From July to July, so we're coming up on the end of it, and I'll talk about what's going on in my brain right now. But yeah, and this project is really it's just really bogging me down. I just want to finish it, so yeah, I want to just buckle down and get off the needles, get it ready to be a sample for SSK, which is the Super Summer Knit Together hosted by the Knit Girls, Laura and Leslie, who I love dearly, and if you don't watch their podcast, you should. I'm very excited to be a vendor. This year I'm vending along amazing, amazing people, and I'm just super excited, and I have this idea in my head because I just have a table. I was too nervous to apply for a booth. So I have this set up in my brain, and on the side of my table I really want a like one of those clothing racks from IKEA that's like just the two lines and like this little thing that you can hang things on, and I just want a bunch of samples that people can try on and feel. Yeah, so I really, really want this to be there because I think it's such a great project. You know, it's 3 skeins of yarn. Oh, there's your Sippy Cup. We just started a Sippy Cup with her per our pediatrician recommendation at her 9-month checkup. It's getting real. I'm also gonna give her some more snacks. Esther, no bub. So yeah, I just have this vision in my brain, but there's not enough time in the world to knit all the things. So luckily I have some amazing sample knitters. I couldn't do as many as I wanted this time around, just because it was stressing me out a little bit. But there's possibly one more garment that I would really like for somebody to make. So stay tuned. There might be a call on my Stress Knits Yarn Instagram in the next day or two about it. I'm really trying to make sure that I am setting myself up for success and I'm setting you up for success. But if you're interested in sample knitting, watch that space, and I'll have you email me or direct message me. All the info will be on the Instagram story. And if you miss it, trust me, there will be other chances to sample knit. Yeah, so Birds of a Feather, I love it. I should probably talk about the yarn. So I'm knitting it out of my hand-dyed yarn, which is Stress Knits, and I'm using 2 bases. So I'm using my singles base, which is 100% superwash merino, fingering weight. This is the this whole thing is in the Succulents colorway, which I love very, very much. And then my Halo base, which is my Kid Mohair silk base. It's the lace weight. It's gorgeous because it adds a nice halo to it, right? And yeah, let's not do that. The dog is bothering me more than the baby. I know. Baby dog bothers me. It's fine. I feel like I'm all over the place, but you know what? It's good. You don't have to watch it if you don't like it. I'm drinking cold brew with a little bit of vanilla, a little bit of cream. Love it. It's my favorite thing. Yes. So the mohair, since there's silk content, it really mutes the colorway, which I'll show you some more examples of stuff in the shop, which is all the stuff in this laundry basket. Yeah, I love my fluffy bases, which are my Halo and my Cloud base, which I'll talk about in a little bit. So let's talk Year of Andrea and Knitting Mojo for a minute. So I go through phases with knitting. There are times where I am just all gung-ho. All I want to do is watch knitting podcasts. All I want to do is skein yarn, buy yarn, just knit. And I'm not there at the moment. My stress levels, for some reason, are up very high right now. I'm a very stressed person naturally. It's just kind of where I live. I'm always kind of at 80% stress level. It's just who I am. That's why I call my company Stress Knits, because when I learned to knit in college, I would stress knit through classes because I needed to be productive. I don't like just sitting somewhere. So especially classes where like notes weren't really a big thing. If they were more a discussion-based class or lectures where the PowerPoints were available and I didn't really need to take copious notes at the moment, I would always just kind of absorb everything and knit socks. That was my thing for a really long time. And yeah, so that's why I call myself Stress Knits. But lately, my stress level is really just kind of taken over my life, and I'm not calling it a bad thing, it's just, there's just a lot going on, and it's nothing's bad, it's just with the move, and kind of getting ready to start dyeing for SSK. Advent calendars are going to start going up in April. Like, there's just a lot, there's a lot going on. And I'm also thinking about starting to job hunt, just because I kind of miss working outside of the home. And if I can find a job that works well with me, I would really enjoy that, as long as I can make sure that Eliza's good and has someone to watch her. So it's just been a lot. And for some reason, I've been enjoying just sitting down and watching TV with Doug, and I just don't pull out knitting all the time like I used to. And yeah, it's just one of those things. And some of my projects that I've cast on lately, I just don't love. For example, I cast on an Oslo hat by Petite Knit for Eliza. I cast on this hat for you. And I think I'm going to frog it. I might finish it. I don't know. Once I reach the stitch marker, I'm flipping it inside out and starting the top of the hat. This is just the cuff, because you fold it under, and it's like a double brim, and then you just knit the rest of the hat. And this is knit out of Primrose in the Dior colorway, which I got at Rhinebeck when I went in 2017. And I love this colorway. I love this yarn. It's her Adelaide singles base. It's great, but I'm starting to wonder if this is going to be too small for her by the time. I think it might be a little too big now, and I think it might be too small for her by the time you know, fall rolls around next year. And so, or later this year. So there's part of me that just doesn't want to finish this and just rip it out, because I made this hat for her, which is the classic cuffed beanie by Pearl Soho. It's my go-to hat pattern when I gift knit for people because it fits everybody. This is the baby size. I think I might have taken a stitch or two out because I made this for her when she was like 3 months old, right when it was starting to cool down in late August, early September. No, I knit this in September because we're going to the apple orchard and she needed a hat. So July, August, September. So she was 3 months old. Yeah, so it still fits her really well. It's still slouchy, which is what I like on her. It's super cute and it covers her ears and she loves it. If it's super cold, we'll fold the brim and just pull it on over her head a little more. And yeah, so this still fits her for the time being. So I don't know, I might just finish it because there are eventually going to be more babies in my life, between friends having kids, more siblings having kids. Like, I will have a baby to give this to, but I just have no motivation to knit on it. I also have my hat in Woolfolk that I really just haven't touched. It's just sitting there. I have socks that I love the yarn, but I just have no sock mojo. Oops, sorry. And yeah, it's just, I don't know. That's not yours. Okay. I don't know, my mojo's just not there. All I want to knit is sweaters right now. I also have my Vertices Unite on the needles, but I just haven't touched it because I wanted to finish my Birds of a Feather before I really touched it. I cast it on, did a few rows, but I haven't really put time in on it. But I do have quite a few things that I really want to knit. I just don't know what to cast on for my Year of Andrea, because I do have my Ronin on the needles, which I love. But again, I really just want to finish my Birds of a Feather, since it is going to be on display at SSK in July. So I really just want to get that out of the way. And now that it's warming up, my Ronin is going to kind of be obsolete until the fall. But again, it's Michigan and we really have some cold days still to go, even into May sometimes. And we have air conditioning, so there might be a time that I just want to throw it on. So I really do want to finish it. I just don't have any motivation right now, even though it's like my dream sweater. Yeah, but I really want to cast on a bunch of other sweaters. But I'm also in this place where my body is changing so rapidly, and I know I talk about this a decent amount, but there's still part of me that is nervous about casting on a sweater that I'm going to love and it's not going to fit me. Just like there are sweaters that I've knit before that I absolutely love, like my Madewell. It doesn't fit me right now because I'm a bigger person than I was when I knit that, and it's just hard sometimes to have something that I love and I loved wearing that I just can't because of my body. And so I've been working really hard to feel healthy and eat better and just take care of my body, and it's going really well. I did join a gym, which is not really my thing, but one of my best friends goes and we go together most days, and it's just really nice to have somebody to be accountable to. And you know, I'm not doing this to lose weight. I'm doing this to be healthy and to feel good. And also I kind of want to lose some of the baby weight. I said this in an episode of my sewing vlog that didn't get uploaded because the file got encrypted. Not encrypted. Is that the right word? Corrupted is the word that I was looking for. But I went up like 10 sizes in less than a year. It's a very dramatic thing, and it's really messed with how I perceive myself and how I see myself in the mirror. And I'm not gonna say it's like body dysmorphia. I haven't been diagnosed with that or anything, but it kind of borders on that. It's really difficult when you don't really recognize yourself in the mirror, and you don't feel good, and you don't feel confident, and Esther, stop eating her snacks. Yeah, and it's just one of those things that I want to make sure that I'm in a really good place, that when my daughter is growing up, that I don't feel like I'm bashing my body, so that she doesn't grow up and have issues with hers. I think it's just a really important thing, and especially, hi. Yeah, I just really don't want that. And I also just want to feel comfortable and see pictures of myself and not wonder who that person is. I want to see myself, and it doesn't, I say this every time, but I want to make it very clear that it doesn't matter what size I am. I just want to be healthy and I want to feel good. That's it. And I'm really starting to get there. I bought myself some new workout clothes, and I was just like strutting around in them to show Doug, because I felt really good about myself, and I'm like, I feel really good, I feel really confident, and it's so exciting to finally be there. Esther, don't eat her. She just completely stole that snack from her out of her hands. It feels good to just kind of have a little more confidence and feel really good. So yeah, that's a long story, but things that I really want to knit and I really want to cast on. I want to cast on my no frills sweater. I still need to figure out what colors I want to do. And that's kind of a theme across the board with these. So I want to do that. I want to do the Comfort Fade cardigan by Andrea Mowry. I just don't know if I want to do a faded one or an unfaded one. If I do a fade, it'll be very subtle. But part of me thinks that I'm just going to do a single color, but I just really, really love that silhouette of the cardigan. I also really love the So Faded, the little cropped tight sweater. That one I would do faded. I really do love that sweater. I want to do a Mon Monet, but I really want to make that sweater out of Stress Stitch yarns, and my mill at the moment, they don't have the Aran that I'm looking for. So I'm just kind of waiting for that to be back in stock. Hopefully in the next month I will be able to get that and dye that up and do that. There's a new colorway called Grungy, and I dyed it specifically for the Mon Monet sweater because it's just a grungy, it's called Grubby. It's just a grubby, dirty pink with dark gray speckles, and it's just a dream, and I love it very much. So I think that's what that sweater is going to be in. I want to make another weekender because I do think I'm going to give my sweater to my friend Beth. Yeah, I just think it would fit her really, really well, and I really, there are just changes I want to make to it to make it a sweater I love more. I do love it. I love the silhouette. I do think I'm going to go up a size because it's not as boxy as I wanted it to be. I think it fit really well. A lot of people told me that they think it fit really well. It's not exactly what I wanted, and I really love that sweater, and I want it to be perfect. So I want to do another one. I have no idea what yarn I'm going to use yet. We'll see. Part of me wants to dye some yarn up on a tweed base because I've always wanted to do tweed, but I just never did. So I might try that out. So there's that. What other sweaters did I want to make? Caitlin Hunter's Nordiska sweater, but I might omit the color work. I know she came out with like a sister sweater to the Nordiska. It's the V-neck cropped with color work on the bottom and on the bottom of the sleeves. But the one that she came out with is just really oversized, and I don't I don't know how I feel about that right now. But I think I want the cropped sweater. I just have to figure out colors and if I want to do the color work. I also really want to make the Nurtured sweater by Andrea Mowry. It's the cropped sweater and I love it. The texture is beautiful and I think I want to make that out of my Cheeks colorway. It's a pink. She's like wagging her Sophie all around. Yeah, so that's just some stuff I want to knit. I just need to get some colors in mind. I have some idea. I also really want to do another Find Your Fade, which might be on the needles next month, if I'm being honest with you. I love this so much, and since there are color changes, I feel like I'm going to be more motivated to knit this. Okay, so that was a lot of chatter that I wasn't expecting. So let's talk about Stress Knits, the yarn store. So I had an update this week and it was really fun. Thank you to everybody who came and bought something. It's really humbling every time somebody purchases some yarn. I just can't thank you enough. It's how I'm able to help pay bills and stay at home with my daughter, so I really, really appreciate your patronage. It means more to me than I'll ever say because I love dyeing yarn and I love talking to you guys, and it's really great. I still have some stuff in the shop, so I thought I would talk about it. Coffee? Do you want to say mama? Do you want to show them how you say mama? She says dada. And then to mock me, she goes, she won't say mama. It's fine. I'm not bitter. So I have some skeins of worsted still in the shop. I have 2 skeins left of the Esther colorway. It's this. It's like a very, it's a pinky brown is the best way that I can describe it. So there's that. Bless you, love. I have 3 skeins of Perfectly Adequate, which is my tonal gray, my medium gray. Love this. You will see a sweater in this eventually from me. What else do I have in the shop? I have a skein of Sparkle, which is a sock weight yarn with gold stellina and nylon and superwash merino. This is the Smitten colorway. I have a skein of Prudence in the shop. The speckles are hiding in this one. This is also on Sparkle, and yeah, they're just these really pretty berry speckles just hiding throughout. Hi. Hello. There's that. I have some squishy in the shop for the first time in a long time. Squishy is my merino nylon cashmere. My merino cashmere nylon and MCN. So I have 2 skeins of a Hint of Mint, which is a new colorway. These both are new colorways. So it's essentially my birch colorway with splotches of mint green. And I love this. I think it's so subtle. I think it'd make a gorgeous shawl. And then I have Peak of Pink, which is in the same vein, but with peaks of pink. So there's that. And it's just the squishiest base. Then I have 2 skeins of my favorite base, which is an 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon high twist fingering weight in the Bell Jar colorway, which is one of my all-time favorites. This was actually one of my first repeatable colorways. I'm still in love with it. And this batch of it is just perfection, in my opinion. So there's that. And then my fuzzy bases. So in mohair, I have 3 skeins of Bell Jar, which would, I mean, obviously go really well with this. Or you could also pair it with a hint of mint should be really great, or even a peak of pink because it has both the mint and the pink in there. So I have that, and then I also have 2 skeins of Sweet Disposition, which is kind of my ride or die colorway. I love this colorway. This would also be great with any of the neutrals. So there's that, and then I have some Cloud, because some people have been asking for single skeins of Cloud so they can try out the base. So Halo is my 70% kid mohair, 30% silk base, and Cloud is 74% baby Surrey alpaca, 26 mulberry silk. So I have 1 skein left of Palm Lines, which is this just gorgeous pink, super pale. Love this colorway, and it's just so fluffy. And then I have 2 skeins of Betty, which is my light blue. I really want a sample in something in Betty, so I'm just really trying to figure that out. So there is that. So to give you an example of what these look like, Esther, side by side. So this is Halo, and this is Cloud. This is a lighter lace weight, and this is a heavier one. This is 328 yards per 50 grams, while this is 459 yards per 50 grams. But this is velvet. If you want something super soft, I would go with this. If you just want your classic mohair base that you love, Halo's your gal. And that's what's in the shop. I also have kits for pre-order for the What the Fade. It is a 6 skein kit, and it has the colorways that I used in my What the Fade that I literally wear all the time. Yeah, because people have been asking for it, and it's just it's essentially all of my staple colorways. It's if you are familiar with my colorways, it's a pink to mint gradient. And so you start with the light pink My Jam, which is actually a more saturated pink than my other pinks in the shop at the moment. So you have My Jam, Sweet Disposition, I Smell Snow, Birch, Bell Jar, and Pillow Mint. So it's just this really beautiful gradient, and if you've ever been looking to get your hands on that, there's a pre-order, there's a 2 to 4 week turnaround, and you have 3 bases to choose from: the singles base, which is what I used, a sparkle base, and my merino cashmere nylon base, just so you can get what you would like. And if you order that, you are eligible for free shipping, and you have to use the code though. It's not retroactive. I can't go back in and change it. So you just have to use the code free shipping. My feet are asleep and it hurts really badly. But I have to feed this girl some real food, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.